Hey, KingsDecree here. I am playing some Radovid Control. So I caved in, I spent money, and now I have a usable deck. It's pretty much the same as before. I have the Bloody Baron, Shawnee, just with a few additions like Renew and Decoy, and I'll make sure to leave that deck list in the description below. Okay. I mean, it's still not, perfect. I'm finding that my win rate against like decks like monsters is extraordinarily low, but against everything else, it has a pretty fair matchup. This is definitely I believe it's a second tier deck by this point. So I went on a roller coaster of wins and losses and despair and victory, which I can show off a little bit later. But basically, took a lot of doing just to get to this point. I think I'm 200 games in right now. And I'm roughly at a 50% win percentage. A little bit under it because I tried out a Nilfgaard deck and I just completely got ran over. I think I lost like 8 games. I lost 8 games in a row. So I'm back to this deck for a while. So I pretty much always start with an open Reaver. And I have no idea how effective this really is. I haven't really seen too many people playing it. Like right now I'm watching, of course, Mega Mogwai Merchant recently found out. And they're all playing either top tier or meme decks. Like I tried out a catapult deck with, I think it was Northern Realms. And it was pretty tough. No. It was with full test. That's right, it was full test. Which is, wait, that is Northern Realms. Yeah, anyway. Not this leader, not Radovid. Yennefer. So I pretty much always want to immediately get rid of that with Radovid because she'll almost always get that 3 hits of damage in and get her value. So I pretty much always just ping it off. Man, do I despise Yennefer. I get that she's easy to play around, but damn, is she a pain to go up against. Alright, so now I'm going to go with my Bloody Baron, and then I'll go Kadweni Sergeant. What that allowed me to do is that I will be able to decoy, I'll be able to Shawnee, connect T, or all of those revive cards that allowed you to revive silver status cards. Very helpful. So I do have Renew though. I think I'm not going to Kadweni Sergeant because I have Renew and I don't have any other gold cards. But what do I even do from this point? There's not a whole lot for me to do. So I guess I just try and help, or I try and start pinging off the Resilient Dwarf.
Everything all right?
Yeah, oh wow, she didn't, or my opponent didn't actually go for the Lubberkin. Usually people will overkill the Lubberkin, and then I'll just bring it right back. So it's kind of unfair in that sense. And sometimes it gets really crazy, like I'll get, I'll revive the Bloody Baron, decoy it, and then do whatever other shenanigans, I'll have like 3 Lubberkins on the field, each buffing by 9 each turn. Once you can really get this, if you can get a really good hand in turn 1 in, this deck just runs away with value. I may want to just give up the ghost by this point. Yeah, because if she wants to, she can just decoy the Hawker Healer and get another 10 of stats in. And I don't want to deal with that. She may do that anyway, just to buff her Resilient Dwarf. But my next turn is going to be pretty damn good. I'm going to decoy. No, I'm going to renew the Baron. Then I can Sergeant and then decoy it. Yeah, that should be a pretty game-winning number 2 turn. And then turn 3, I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. Wonder what she's doing. That feels like an overplay. Unless that trap is the one that you get to keep unless you lose, but would you play it then? I'm not especially knowledgeable about all their traps, all their ambushes. Huh. I guess she just wanted that. I'm not really sure what was going on there. I definitely feel like just that one play of the Hawker Healer resend would have been enough to win. I think. Okay, here we go. Renew. Actually, I'm going to start with a field medic first, so I can have something on the field to get buffed. Also, this removes the possibility of an insta eliminate. I mean, it's probably going to happen anyway, but at least this raises my chances of surviving by a little bit. So renew. Do I have a... Oh, what's great about this, renewing the Bloody Baron, is that you still have your Lubberkin in the graveyard. So that's where you start getting the Lubberkin spam in. Okay, that's pretty easy to deal with. I'll just renew. Give me that Baron. The Lubberkin. And then sometimes you go, if you have a second Bloody Baron play, sometimes I go for the other one, the Botchling. And then you can have that 4 resilient card pass over to the next turn. And if you're really lucky, you can even get it buffed. Okay, so it looks like she's going hard in for that 3rd round win. So I think I have to decoy by this point. Oh, no, Sergeant. And then decoy. Okay, so there's the pass. I can decoy this to get the thing, but I think it's worth carrying over that decoy in the next turn. I guess. I wish you had played just a little bit more, just so I just barely win the round with the decoy botchling. Oh yeah, that's another card I crafted recently. I don't know how to say that name, but this dragon is pretty great. Being able to carefully and very nearly surgically remove strength is pretty helpful for like Agnes. So I think right now I can get rid of that dwarf if I want to. I think I might actually do that. Just to try and stop the buffs before they get too out of control. Because if she starts like Hawker healing or something that entire row, then it just becomes to the point where I'm never going to catch up. It's less value to do it this way, but I think I'm going to decoy it and then try and chunk it out again. And then next turn I can trebuchet. I can probably even Reaver scout out another trebuchet as well. Granted, it's not like I'm helping a next turn or a next round because there is no next round, but this Goatal deck really likes to buff current units on the field, especially the dwarf ones. The less units she has to buff, the better I'm off. So that's kind of what this deck is kind of all about. It's about getting that Bloody Baron, Lubberkin spam, and then controlling the field, but not letting them ever play anything. Or not letting them have any units that stick to the board too much. There's a lot of removal in this deck. Even still, though, if like you don't have the right card, you're gonna get annihilated by like the dwarf one, or the off the top of my head I forget what it's called, but it's the one where they super hyper buff the discard deck, whatever that is. I think he uses Herald the Cripple, I think. That's no, it's not Nilfgaard. That's what is that dwarf dead? Oh, Skillish, something like that. Okay, that's kind of an issue. That's a really big issue. I guess I just Reaver Scout and then just take the hit, I guess, on losing 2 pretty powerful units. This is gonna come down pretty close, I think. Ah, damn. At least it wasn't a dwarf extra buff, right? Yeah. Okay, so I need 11. I'm gonna get hit for 7. That's 18. So it's pretty much. I'm thinking I'm just barely going to miss out here. Unless I think if I had gotten 4 more, I think I could have passed without it proccing. Maybe. No. It still would. I still would have procced. Oh, wait, doesn't that count as... Oh, I can get rid of his Geralt. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, down to the wire, man. I used his own thing against him. That's beautiful. Okay, so just to... Oh, hey, get the level up. So I'm sitting at rank 6 right now. Rank 6, I think, is 1,600 ranking points. And what happened is that, you know, I went on this big win streak, got up to rank 6. I was feeling damn good, man. I had this Baron Shawnee deck. I felt on top of the world. I was like, rank 15 is my next target. But then I lost like 20, like out of like 20 games, I think I lost like 75% of them. And I dropped to like legit like 1,300 ranking points. And in the past day or so, I've been climbing all the way back up. So let's take a look at this Radovid deck just real quick. Over to my deck builder. So as you can see, 3 medics. And let me see if I can remember if I have the bookmark for the deck list. Okay, it's just called Radovid Control. Made by IMSFT. I'm using somewhat similar to what he's got. Wait, no, this isn't even close. No, it's something else. Let's double check something else. I think it's called Ozgurbatuhans, something like that. Anyway, yeah. This is the deck list. So I think I pretty much have every single card he's got in his deck that I do. You have the medics. You have these sergeants. I think I added a Troll because I really like that card. In place of Prince Stennis, I think it's called. Yeah, I don't really like Prince Stennis. And if you don't know what Prince Stennis is, let me look it up real quick. It's this card. Immune to weather, draw 1 card, face up, 1 down, whatever. I don't really like that card because you can pretty much only play it like on turn 2, I think, because this deck needs to win on turn 1. I think if you're relying on a turn 2 swing, then, or rather, I think it's too niche. I've tried Prince Dennis in a dozen or so decks, but or a dozen so games, and I never felt like I was actually getting a lot of value out of it. Maybe if you were playing like a turn 2 turn with like Siri and like Roach or something, then yeah, that'd be great. But I need to win turn 1, and I can usually win turn 2, and then turn 3 is the place I don't want to go to, especially when facing them against monsters and resilient dwarfs and all that stuff. And also, you know, discard decks, which get better over time. So I'm trying to win in the first 2 turns, and Prince Dennis doesn't do that. And that's why I put in Troll low. That helps against single row spamming, which you see a lot, at least at my ranking. I only have 1 Reaver Scout. I don't really like that card. Actually, I'm not even sure. I don't even want it in the deck at all. But sometimes it can be helpful for getting out another Trebuchet or Sergeant or something like that. Very niche appeal. I only want one of those. The deck I'm basing this off has 2, though. I felt it never really got a lot of value. Reaver Scout's very like a surprisingly powerful card. So you only need to have 1 of those in your hand, right? You drop all the rest. You play this, and you're gonna have 15 worth of value spread out across 3 cards, all of which can be buffed individually by a Lubberkin. Also, it's not just 1 hard removal to get rid of one card that has 15 strength. It's really good on all fronts. Of course, this is if it gets removed, then you don't get the value. Anything like Scorch, if they all get buffed at the same time, can be kind of troublesome, but I never really had that happen. It's a very solid card, always wanted in your opening hand. The Drake, obviously, very good. Being able to surgically get cards within Ignis, trying to line up multiple cards with the same strength level so you can get rid of all of them at once. Baron Shawnee, obviously, core cards. Don't try this deck without Baron Shawnee. Try it, but it's not going to be very strong. Neek. I'm just gonna call it Neek. Neek is great for grabbing Lubberkin. Priscilla is okay. It kind of has niche appeal. Like if you're really looking for like a decoy or a first light or something, it's kind of okay in that respect. But it doesn't always hit. It's okay though. I usually drop this card in my opening hand. Trebuchets, of course, great removal, low strength, but still, has lots of. It evens itself out pretty well. I take Lacerate because there's a lot of row spamming, which is kind of what I have. Igni and Trollolol helps with that. Renew, of course, to get any of these gold cards back. It can be a dead card in your hand, but usually when it does hit, it hits pretty hard. And even if you only get back like an Igni or a Shani, it's still pretty powerful. First light, of course, get rid of weather, just in case. Decoy, being able to spam out some of these other cards like the Drake or Lubberkin if it gets really weakened or something like that is really helpful. It's just a very nice overall card. It's not required of this deck to have it, but it helps a lot. And then Dimitri Bomb, I'm just gonna go with Dimitri Bomb. The Dimitri Bomb is pretty strong because it helps with super overbuffed cards like you see in Consume Monster. I don't actually have this card hit. I don't have it hit all that often, but I think I'm going to keep it in for a little bit longer. I may just switch to Shackles or something, but it's also useful for basically being a sort of less flexible Codweenie Sergeant. Codweenie Sergeant. So that's the deck. It's pretty strong, generally speaking. It's not as strong as some of the like S tier decks like Discard Skillage or whatever it is, or Consume Monster. I think is probably a little bit stronger than this deck, but it's a control deck. It's steady. It has a pretty even, win loss. It's solid. I like it. And then my leaderboard, just to keep so I was at like the last we checked, which I just haven't uploaded a video in forever for some reason because I'm dumb. Last we checked, I think I was like 20-27, which is actually probably a pretty similar ratio to what it is now. But I jumped like I almost like doubled that, where I was like 40-30 or something like that, and I kept climbing. And then I hit rank 6, and then it just like I hit a brick wall. Maybe it was that day I was playing, maybe I was tilted, I don't know. But then I lost, like 75% of my games in like, a 3-hour play session. Dropped me all the way down to a negative win loss, but I'm climbing that back up. Anyway, enough of that. Back to the game.